I'm 15, LOL. When do you turn 16? I've seen enough. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Every time I go for jury duty, they never select me. I'm great with the justification. You know what I mean? I've seen, and all I need is, when is your answer to I'm 15? When do you turn 16? When is, you want to put her on the travel soccer team? You trying to make sure that she didn't age out? What could possibly be the legitimate justification for when do you turn 16? Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, just when I think that nature is healing, we see record low approval for Trump. The resistance is strengthening. We kept the Cowboys away from yet another ring. I even looked up and saw the Washington Wizards. Y'all gave up 83 points? 83 points to Bam Adebayo? Is nothing sacred? I'm not even talking about Kobe. I'm talking about the Washington Wizards. Y'all know they not ready for the NBA. That's basically child abuse. Whatever happened to each one? They just trying to learn the game. The Washington Wizards are in the y'all just go out and have fun stage of their development, and you hit them with 83 points. That's wrong. Honestly, that's wrong. I'm going to file a grievance with the league.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
I would like to thank today's sponsor, Fume. My favorite is when I can connect with a sponsor that I can relate to personally. Because as y'all know, I used to be a backslider. Oh, we know. That's why you sit in the back of the church. You think don't nobody see you, that you turn your life around. No. You sit in the back of the church every Sunday in the backslider row. We see you. Because putting down old habits isn't easy, especially smoking or vaping, because cravings aren't just about nicotine. They're about the habit, that hand-to-mouth oral fixation. Fume is a flavored air device designed to help people quit vaping and smoking by breaking that hand-to-mouth pattern. Sounds like you need it. Is that why you keep singing in the middle of your videos? You need something to do with your hands and mouth? Because it definitely ain't for us. It's simple and natural. No nicotine, no batteries, no vapor. Just a fidget-friendly tool that gives your hands something better to reach for when cravings show up. Fume replaces your habit with a flavored air fidget device that gives your hands and mouth something to do, distracting those cravings with no nicotine, no vapor, and no batteries. In other words, you can take the bad out of that bad habit and reach for Fume instead. And of course, since there are no accessories, you can just throw it right in your pocket and it's ready the next time a craving hits. And right now, when you grab a Journey Pack, you'll get a free Fume topper just for using my code Reese Waters. That topper adds a soft, replaceable, chewable mouthpiece, giving your mouth something safe to chew when cravings hit. So try Fume.com, that's TRYFUM.com, and use the code Reese Waters to get your free Fume topper with your Journey Pack. Maga, we need to... No, I'm not here to talk about the labs.
The flood of Mexican meth, Mexican heroin, Mexican fentanyl. 20 years ago in Montana, meth was homemade. It was homegrown. And it had purity levels less than 30%. Today, the meth that is getting into Montana is Mexican cartel.
Now, this not gonna be the first time I asked y'all this, Maga. Do you realize how y'all sound? Do you realize how deep in the barrel you are with the excuses that you be making? I mean, you out here just feeling wistful for the heyday of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. Y'all out here got your grandkids over your knee telling them about when Sons of Anarchy was in their bag. Like, this is weird. These are the American jobs that you're looking for. And by the way, these are the same people that will turn around and criminalize black folks just for living. Hey, Steve Daines, yeah, what percentage of that lab market did we have? Huh? What percentage was Marlowe involved in any of that? Y'all get down with the Barksdales? What percentage of that was we involved with? That's what I would like to know. Maga, y'all done flip-flopped on America First. Y'all done flip-flopped on Iran. Y'all done flip-flopped on Epstein. Y'all even flip-flopped on gas prices. So for the second time, I gotta ask you how y'all look. And if all of those four got together and had a nice, sweaty evening that needed sufficient disinfectant and had a baby, it would look something like this.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Gas at $3.20 and diesel at $4. Protecting PDFs is getting expensive. Ah, yes, I remember when I posted that. That was nary a week ago, and that price has already gone up. But I'm here to talk about the second part of that. We interrupt this video with a very special message. Another one. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, man. I just started doing the video and you popped another one from the time I sat down here? Former Midlothian ISD substitute teacher Madison Page Jones, who wore a Trump hat at her wedding, was indicted on 19 child charges. Now you had me at wore a Trump hat at her wedding. He know he been to 3 of them things, right? Hey man, I don't think she was serious if she wore a Trump hat at the wedding. She wasn't for real. Now what's this about the charges? Breaking another one. The Maga substitute teacher who wore a Trump hat at her wedding gets indicted on child charges. The entire Republican Party is full of them. When the authorities spoke to Jones, let's just say she confessed. These are the kinds of monsters that are lurking inside the conservative movement just below the surface. Jones worked as a substitute teacher 4 times in the past 12 months at Heritage High School and Baxter Elementary, but authorities stated there does not seem to be a connection between her work in the district and her alleged crimes. At this point, it seems hardly a day goes by without a Republican getting exposed. And the reason is clear. They feel at home inside a party led by Trump. If Trump can do it, they figure they can do it too. We really have come a long way since running into random establishments to save the kids. Y'all remember that? Yeah, we are as far away from that as humanly possible. And I don't need to tell you what's underneath that. But I'm gonna show you anyway. Yeah, that's what they went with. That's what they went with. Maybe this one is more to your liking. Now, if something like that was said about y'all in the before times, you would object. But I just want to ask you, exactly what are your grounds to object today? Do you realize how bad it's gotten that I can just go around and do a potpourri dedicated video on how truthful that statement is? And no, we not just talk about Trump, although anytime he opens his mouth is suspect.
In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases. And that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
He doesn't understand the concept of consent. Ah, yes. And that's just when we're here talking about military action. We don't even need to come any closer to the topic at hand. I mean, it's not like he got charges or anything like that. And you would think somebody in that situation might distance themselves as much as humanly possible from anything connected to the subject. You certainly wouldn't surround yourself in the cabinet from other people that similarly need to suppress the Epstein files. You wouldn't do anything like that. Maybe that was that law of power about making sure your motivations are aligned. Hey, if everybody needs to protect all this information from getting out, then we can all row in the same direction. Was that the reason for the blanket J6 pardons as well? Because how's that going?
As a sentence as to count 1 of life in prison, as to count 2, 15 years, Florida Department of Corrections, as to count 3, 5 years, Florida Department of Corrections, as to count 4, 15 years, Florida Department of Corrections, as to count 5, 15 years, Florida Department of Corrections, and as to count 6, you were found not guilty. And the court finds that you qualify as a sexual predator, and I'm going to designate you as such.
Actually, I actually wasn't even talking about him. Wow, that's awkward. I was talking about a whole nother J6 rioter. Because there's enough for that to happen.
Over and over and over and over and over.
Jake Lang, white Christian men are not going to sit back while you turn our children into a bunch of lovers.
Go back, APAC, go back. That's the APAC building right there. White Christian men are not going to sit around while you turn our children into a bunch of lovers.
3 days later, said white Christian male gets exposed for flirting with a 15-year-old girl. Far-right Christians and PDF. It was bad enough when you had Lauren Boebert immediately go from filling out her GED to calling Jasmine Crockett, attorney Jasmine Crockett, a DEI. That was bad enough. But now you got people stopping from their ongoing messages with unders to drop ins. So tell me, I'm struggling. I really am struggling. Tell me about the substance of the disdain that you toss our way. Exactly what is the basis of that again? Because we going from the bottom all the way to the top.
But wait, there's more.
Care to explain these texts, Jake Lang? Let's see, you come to my protest. Can we talk on here instead? I have too many DMs, text only, sweetie. I'm sure.
You sure about that?
I'm 15, LOL. When do you turn 16? I've seen enough. I'm good. Yeah. Every time I go for jury duty, they never select me. I'm great with the justification. You know what I mean? I've seen, and all I need is, when is your answer to I'm 15? When do you turn 16? When is, you want to put her on the travel soccer team? You trying to make sure that she didn't age out? What could possibly be the legitimate justification for when do you turn 16?
So Jake Lang got caught talking to my 15-year-old decoy, and then Doesn't surprise me. He doesn't take any accountability. Instead, he's going to try to blame this on the Groypers. And if you don't know what the Groypers are, they're Nick Fuentes fans. So he's trying to say, I'm a Groyper hoax. The whole thing's a hoax. You know, just like Epstein case, it's a hoax, right? Now, he talked to my good friend, Alex Rosen. Alex, you know, he was doing his regular tactic where he talks to them, acts like their friend, but in reality, he's just getting information. And now, this has to be the dumbest excuse ever. So he tries to say that it was his team talking to my decoy. But that's not true, because if you look at the conversations, it's him flirting with the girl, and then him going on text, and then him trying to say that the last message he sent was, I can't see you. And I have this on voice recording, but he lies so much, and he tries to trick Alex by saying, oh, I just said I wouldn't see you, but he forgets the part where he says, I can't see you till you're 16.
I've got whole entire teams of people messaging people, and we were going to do a big burqa bikini march I had announced for February. Like, you know, you shouldn't even be anywhere near this thing until you're like of the legal age to even be around adults. So anyway,
right. I mean, what?
You know, and that's where it ended. Like as soon as I said that, when I said I can't see you, and that's it. That was the last message.
Right.
You know, that's
right. MAGA influencer Jake Lang getting caught for allegedly soliciting is the least surprising thing of the day. That's right. Not from the party that gave us Pam Bondi turning her back on survivors and refusing to acknowledge them in any way. No, not from that party. Not from the party that nominated Matt Gaetz for that position prior to bringing in Pam Bondi. No, not from that party. What was it that newly minted head of DHS had to say about Matt Gaetz?
You got to think about this guy. This is a guy that the media didn't give a time of day to after he was accused of sleeping with a girl. And there's a reason why no one in the conference came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls that he had slept with. He'd brag about how he would crush ED medicine and chase it with an energy drink so he could go all night. This is obviously before he got married. And so when that accusation came out, no one defended him, and then no one on the media would give him a time of the day.
Are you going to vote for Matt Gaetz?
You know, Matt Gaetz and I, there's no question that we've had our differences. They've been very public about it. I completely trust President Trump's decision-making on this one. But at the same time, he's got to come to Congress and sell himself. There's a lot of, or to the Senate and sell himself. There's a lot of questions that are going to be out there. He's got to answer those questions. And hopefully he's able to answer the questions right.
That's right. And if you're wondering, Matt Gaetz has found himself a nice, comfortable home on right-wing media after all of this done got out. After all that was said about Matt Gaetz, he is platformed.
But I served with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid to have sex with him at drug parties. Bob Good endorsed my opponent, a known neo. These people used to walk around with white hoods at night. Now they're walking around with white hoods in the daytime.
Wait a minute. I know that ain't who I think it is. I know that ain't who I think it is. Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez. You thought we was going to let you get away with that one?
Wake the hell up!
This is something I don't think the media has talked about enough, if at all. Rep. Tony Gonzalez, married, had an affair with a staffer who, according to Uvalde police, unalived herself. Her dying words, I don't want to die. And what would a man in Trump's position, given everything surrounding his ankles, cholesterol? No, I wouldn't. I didn't say nothing about ankles. No, I'm talking about given the suspicion and all the accusations. That's what I meant by that. How would he respond in a moment where one of his congressmen is embattled with such a nasty and salacious accusation? Trump, of course, has endorsed him. One more time for those in the back.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez is here. Tony, congratulations.
Trump shouts out disgraced Congressman Tony Gonzalez despite reports revealed that his staffer unalived herself after being pressured into sending him images. It must be a delusion that's wrought out of just not being able to imagine Tony Gonzalez is capable of something like that. They just must go way back. And I see it all the time when I watch ID. You know, they got that show, Evil Lives Here, and it's all about people that saw all the evidence and knew the answer to everything that the police were looking for to make the public more safe after the fact. It's hard. It can be hard in moments like that to just imagine because you go back so far because that's been your man's for so long. GOP Rep Jeff Hurd votes against Trump's tariffs and immediately loses his endorsement. Rep. Tony Gonzalez faces disturbing revelations about an affair with a staffer and keeps Trump's endorsement. That tells you everything you need to know about Trump's priorities. It most certainly does. So I'll ask again, Maga, how you look?
He allegedly had a romantic relationship with Santos Aviles in 2024, according to text messages that were revealed by the San Antonio Express News. Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert shared a post on X that included an alleged text from Gonzalez asking Santos Aviles for explicit photos, which she pushed back against. Boebert from Colorado tagged Gonzalez in her post and wrote, "Resign." Later on, Republican Congresswomen Nancy Mace and Anna Paulina Luna also called for Gonzalez to step down in their own social media posts.
Ah, yes, that's right. Got to keep that seat at all costs. So if I'm scoring from home, Maga, I'm supposed to not believe any of the allegations and the ties and the suspicion clouded all around Trump. Like when they do those AI videos, like the scent that follows him, like I'm supposed to not believe any of those because of the nature of the man, you know, with charges, who gave us the Access Hollywood tape. Yeah, I'm supposed to not believe any of that because of the nature of the man, but he's publicly willing to endorse a Tony Gonzalez and let people like the convicted J6ers out on the street with a blanket pardon. That's right. Because of what? Politics? Well, I can tell you this, Maga. As bad as this looks for the entire party, it looks worse for those that are left holding the bag. Because even some of your own couldn't go that far.
I voted for the man twice now.
For Tony Gonzalez?
I did.
Are you disappointed?
Yes, ma'am. You know, it's sort of like, you know, I'm disappointed in most of the Republicans.
Imagine that. That's a novel concept. I never heard of that like that. That's crazy. That's wild. I wonder what a Trump future would look like with people voting based on the person.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. The House just did the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. We just voted to cover up sexual harassment of employees by members, if you can believe that. I got the sponsor right here with me, got Boebert. Y'all tell them what happened.
It's shameful. They voted against my resolution that would reveal members of Congress who sexually harass employees on the Hill, women on the Hill, in the campaigns, lobbyists, etc. shameful. So I don't want to hear.
They sent it to the ethics committee. So
Right.
so a bunch of congressmen are going to investigate
So let
themselves.
it go get hidden, right?
Yeah, this is exactly where bills go to die. So her privileged resolution is being sent to the ethics committee for members of Congress to investigate themselves. And remember, this is your tax dollars that were used
They're
in
hiding
this
it.
hush
They're
money.
hiding it.
Yeah.
Yes, this
How
was
many
used to
millions? How many
silence
millions are in that
Hill
thing?
staffers.
They said there's millions that
At
have been
least
paid out.
some years there's like 4 or 5 million
Oh, you're
that went to a
kidding.
slush
Wow.
fund that paid for members of Congress with your tax dollars to allow them to go sexually harass people on the aisle. And then the second thing is I want to say is I don't want to hear another word about Epstein or Epstein victims by a single person, Republican or Democrat, that voted against revealing sexual harassment on the
Let's
Hill.
get that list. How many people? 49 of us voted to make it public, right?
Yep, to actually have transparency.
49 or 50, okay.
And this is the
Barely
crap that we see
10%,
up here all the
barely
time. We are
10%.
actually standing for victims.
Okay, I'm
And we
running out
just
of
saw
time.
with Tony Gonzalez,
Yeah.
his staffer, who lit herself on fire. The worst way to die. And this was part of the same fund that is being covered up. Did he pay her? Maybe she never got a check,
You'll never
but she
know.
doesn't have a life
You'll never
anymore.
You'll never know. Anyway, we need transparency. Thank y'all for sending me here.
I love you.
We just covered up harassment and the slush fund. It's your money. Cameo by Boebert and Nancy Mace, to which Boebert quote tweets, "Your tax dollars were used to protect perverted members of Congress. The House overwhelmingly voted to ignore the victims. You don't hate your government enough." Hey, Lauren Boebert, don't threaten me with a good time. Do not threaten me with a good time, because we've done this dance many a time. Hey, remember that whole Michelle Obama thing? I'll come back over there. I think I hate just the right amount. Okay, just the right amount. But I will give at least you and Nancy Mace, I tell you, this makes for strange bedfellows, and Tim Burchett some credit for at least not willing to go down the indecent path. And here's the thing, when some people break, I tell you what, it becomes quite a race for salvation, don't it, Mike Johnson? Johnson says it isn't time to call for House Republicans' resignation over affair. Speaker Mike Johnson said he doesn't believe it's time to call for Texas Republican Tony Gonzalez' resignation, as fellow House Republicans have pushed back, calling for him to resign or drop out of his bid for re-election. I think we have to wait for more of the facts to come out, and I don't think it's time to call for resignation. Now, after Boebert and Burchett,
breaking news, Speaker Mike Johnson and House Republican leadership are now calling on Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez to withdraw from his upcoming primary runoff.
Nothing like being shamed into a little bit of act right, huh? Now, nothing like being shamed into a little bit of act. They put you in a grinder. They put you in a grinder. They sent that right to your phone. They absolutely did. Oh, okay. And how exactly did that play out with the voters, seeing as how he didn't see fit to drop out prior to the primary? What a difference 2 years makes. Tony Gonzalez is in second place, barely clinging to over 40%. In the first round last time, he didn't lose a single county. This time he lost about half of them. Now, you remember that whole thing I told you about the race for salvation and absolution? Y'all remember that whole thing? Here's where the voters look particularly bad. Yes, I know that it had to go to a runoff. He didn't quite win the election, but it took an act of his own for him to lose the election, ostensibly doing something that the voters of his district wouldn't. How y'all look? Breaking, Brandon Herrera has officially won his race against incumbent Tony Gonzalez. This comes after Gonzalez drops out and admits he had an affair with a staffer.
A relationship with this young lady who was working in your office?
You know, very, very direct, Pags. I made a mistake, and I had a lapse in judgment, and there was a lack of faith. And I take full responsibility for those actions. Since then, I've reconciled with my wife, Angel. I've asked God to forgive me, which he has. And my faith is as strong as ever. When you make mistakes like this, it's never easy. It humbles you, but it's important to kind of work through it all. I look forward to the ethics committee starting an investigation. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to provide all the facts and all the details that lead to exactly what occurred in the entire situation.
Well, that's awkward now, isn't it? That is awkward. Like getting catfished by your own spouse. Y'all was really about to go to a whole runoff because y'all didn't have the decency to pack him up. And he packs himself up. Oh no, don't go nowhere, Maga. Don't go nowhere. I'm not quite finished because something don't sit right with me about this whole thing. A lot of things don't sit right with me about this whole thing. Republicans called Tony Gonzalez a predator for texts he sent his side piece who passed away. The thing is, most Republicans have had affairs on the side. Most of them support an alleged PDF in the White House. If you're going to hold your own accountable, hold all of you accountable and start at the top. Don't hold people accountable simply because one woman died. Hold yourselves accountable for all your repugnant Republican behavior. You don't get an attaboy simply because his behavior led to a horrible outcome. Clean house on the whole party. The ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. I just ran down everybody from influencers to J6ers to congressmen to the president. Like, what y'all want to do? I ain't even get into Lori Chavez DeReamer, which I could have, but we gon' I'm because I had talked about Nancy Mace and she be monitoring the bathrooms and whatnot. And I figured for this one, I'm just gonna go in and out of the men's. I ain't even want to deal with none of that. But don't think you off the hook. No, don't think you off the hook. And y'all wasn't even tipping like that. That's what I heard. So we don't worry about it. We'll be back here. But Maga, how is it that you allow the same people who demonize Tony Gonzalez to continue to move in lockstep for Donald Trump? Please tell me. I mean, Donald Trump can't throw a rock without hitting somebody who's in the Epstein files. And he can't throw a rock very far. So they be all around him. CPAC is proud to announce that Steve Bannon is a confirmed speaker for CPAC USA 2026 in Grapevine, Texas. Ah, yes, because of course he is. Oh, we got one more? CPAC is proud to announce Jared from Subway confirmed for CPAC USA 2026. I see what y'all did there. I see what y'all did there. Let me circle back around to the theme of this video, MAGA. I've asked you repeatedly how y'all look, but you don't need to answer because that meme just told me exactly how y'all look to everybody.
Go crazy! Go stupid! Go crazy!
Now, I might, under normal circumstances, congratulate Brandon Herrera as well as his product for emerging victorious. They're going to do some numbers in that district, but I've seen his content.
So today we're going to learn about this firearm, the historical context that led to Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, and even trying to recreate the shot. So it was not a direct headshot in that way, but it was clearly enough to do enough damage so that Dr. King then later bled to death, thus making him a martyr for the civil rights movement and solidifying him as one of the most influential Americans in history. Or as kids know today, the reason why you get off a day in school in February.
Now, is that a series of assassinations throughout American history, or you just really focus on the civil rights era? You do Medgar Evers next, is that? Yeah. That's so MAGA. Hey, Black MAGA. Black MAGA. No, because y'all love to misuse and misrepresent MLK. Now y'all got him doing it. You know what I mean? He gonna take your jobs, Black MAGA. He gonna take your jobs. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Y'all hear that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It's the unraveling of the MAGA coalition. And this month, we letting them fight. So look out for all of that merch hitting thepeoplesgetup.com. Now, this time around, I come to you in the spirit of Unsung. Y'all remember that show on TV One about all the groups that didn't get their just desserts? They were really scraping the barrel by the end of that show. I think they made one on me, my work in the shower. I be singing in the shower. I go by Rishis Watterson. And I got Rishis Watterson. Look out for Rishis Watterson. I think it's season 24. I'm on there.
La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum. La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum.
Now, last time I sat here, I gave a shout out to all the people whose hard work makes this channel go. But I also want to give a shout out to the research squad. Did you know we have a research squad? Shout out to all of you guys. And if you would like to be a part of it, hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. But I also want to shout out you, all the people whose actions help propel this channel onto the screens and into the laps of so many people all across America. The people that watch the video all the way to the end, the people that hit the like button, the ones that hit the side of the screen during the premiere, the people that share the videos, all the subscribers, all the members, the people who write comments, and the people that engage with other people in the comment section, as well as the people that follow me on all of my other socials. I'm at Reese Waters on just about everything. There are so many people whose efforts I appreciate that I may not have an opportunity to thank. And just because I haven't already doesn't mean I won't. That goes for you too, Hanukkah Claus. I remember. Greetings to Reese Waters and the Mod Squad and Collected Fam. It's me, Top Cop, aka Hanukkah Claus, the chubby elf of Hanukkah with his reindeer Nala. She's of the culture, sending out holiday greetings and drinking from the glory of my FAFO mug and adorned in my Who Raised Y'all festive tea. It's an honor to tell all who ask regarding these gifts about the good works this channel does, and I know will continue to do. Love to all of you. And right back at you. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate the support, love, and just the time that you guys shower onto this particular channel. And I chose Unsung because coming out of the White House Black History Month with the State of the Union immediately afterwards with no acknowledgement whatsoever, the treatment of Jesse Jackson, and the most notable thing coming from this administration during Black History Month being the Obama memes. I think a lot of us know what it feels like to be unsung. And for us, you got to ask how many years we're going to move this country and remain a ghost. It's like a special kind of magic trick that we do to be the most visible people in the room, the ones that get watched in the corner store, the ones they lock their car doors for, and yet be completely unseen. We're the architects of the culture the world breathes like oxygen, but nobody ever asks who built the house. We're the rhythm in the song everybody's humming, the slang on the tongue of a girl across the ocean who's never met a soul from my neighborhood. Actually, you know what? My neighborhood was pretty milquetoast. I'll be honest. My neighborhood was unseasoned. I'll be honest. Let's go with y'all neighborhood. A woman across the ocean who's never met a soul from your neighborhood. We are the trend, the aesthetic, the vibe. But when the credits roll, our names are written in water. It's like being a foundation. You're under the floorboards, holding up the whole structure, but people walk all over you, dance on you. They feel safe because of you, but they never look down to say thank you. They just admire the view from the window that we helped frame. We've sat in boardrooms where our idea was a suggestion until a man with a different tan said it louder, and then suddenly it was innovation. In fact, I think this administration has been built on dismantling everything Obama did and then putting together something similar, but way worse. I've seen our history tucked into the back of the book, a footnote in a chapter written by someone who wasn't even there. It's exhausting being a masterpiece that everyone wants to own, but nobody wants to credit. But here's the thing about being unrecognized. Just because you don't see the win doesn't mean it isn't moving the trees. We've been the pulse of this world since the first heartbeat. You can look away. You can keep your eyes fixed on the ceiling. You can pretend the light just happened to turn on by itself. But we all know who flipped the switch. We've always known. We see you. And of course, I got to give a very special shout out to Fume for sponsoring this video.